So hello Booktube and welcome to my bookshelves. So I haven't filmed for a while because if you've watched my channel you know that I'm in a drama group, and for the last 2 weekends we've been performing Agatha Christie's The Murder Is Announced. So the weekends have been totally busy, so I've not had time to film. So this is my first filmed video for about 3 weeks, I think, so apologies. Today I'm going to be doing a book haul, and because it's been 3 weeks there's quite a few books to get through. So let's begin. Now, the first book, I don't know what I'm going to show you. This is my blind date with a book. So my wife bought me a birthday present, and every month I get a book in the post. A blind date with a book. Don't know what's coming. It's in the genre of mystery, thriller, crime, but they will choose a book, send it to me in the post, and I don't know what it's going to be. So it gets posted to you like this, and inside we have a book that we don't know what it is. You also get a bookmark as well. The only clues that we have is this book is amnesia, suspense, mystery thriller, gripping, and lies. So I think the only clue there is amnesia. So books about amnesia. Gripping, lies. I'm going to open this at the end of the video and we will see what's inside. First couple of books I'm going to show you, they actually come as a pair. Now, I entered a competition on Twitter by the Arden publishers, and they publish the Shakespeare texts, and I entered a competition and won, and I won a copy of Richard III by the Arden publishers. And what came in the post was Richard III, The Ruler and His Reputation by David Horspool, which wasn't what I won. This is a biography of Richard III. So I went back on Twitter and I said, excuse me, I think you sent me the wrong one. And they very kindly said, that's all right, you can keep that one and we will send you Richard III by the Arden publishers. So the Arden Shakespeare texts are my go-to text for Shakespeare. Very clear and concise. They have all the footnotes on the same page as the text, so you're not having to constantly flip back and forth. And they also have a very large introduction, essays before even the text begins, and lots of appendices at the back as well. So yeah, the Arden publishers the Arden editions of Shakespeare are probably my favourite of the police scripts. But I'm also interested in the actual biography of Richard III, because Shakespeare's Richard III apparently is not as accurate to the actual person, and it's more propaganda of the time. So I'm interested to see what Richard III was actually like, and the differences between him and Shakespeare's Richard III. I'll be interested to read those. Might read those together and sort of compare notes. Next book I found was in a charity shop, and the cover and the blurb immediately caught my eye. I mean, the cover's not nothing special, but it's called The Incident at 5 Castles. But it is a murder mystery set in the 1920s. And it is set at Fives Castle in Scotland at New Year's Eve or Hogmanay, and the Foreign Secretary and the American Ambassador and British intelligence are there to celebrate Hogmanay before a body is discovered. So this sounded right up my street, but what actually drew me in was the author's note. So Clara Benson was born in 1890 and wrote several novels and was unpublished in her lifetime. And it was not until after her death in the 1960s that the family discovered her novels and decided to publish it for an audience. Now that sounded brilliant, but it's not true. Clara Benson is alive and well, and this was published in 2014. So Clara Benson is a modern writer, writing now, and she writes detective mysteries set in the 1930s or 1920s. So she's not. So this is a novel pretending to be a golden age novel when it's not. So I'm in two minds about this one. I'll probably read it and see what it's like. But I feel cheated by the author's note at the start. About the author. And it was only when I went on to Goodreads and Wikipedia that I discovered that that's not true at all. But we will see. Next two books are continuations of a series. I've started the Peter Lovesey Sergeant Cribb detective series, written in the 1970s but set in Victorian London. The next one to read has the most wonderful title, Abracadaver. This is set in the music halls of Victorian London. And then the next one in hardback is Mad Hatter's Holiday. And this is set in, I think it's Brighton, which is a coastal tourist place in the south of England. So these are the next two books in the Sergeant Cribb stories, which I will try and get to this month. So now we come to my wife's Stratford trip, and Stratford-upon-Avon, we go there a lot, and there are some wonderful charity shops there. We just love going around the charity shops, and picked up quite a few books. So this is my Stratford haul from a few weeks ago, and the first one is one of the British crime classics, which you know I really love, and this one is the Poisoned Chocolates case by Anthony Berkeley. I've not read any Anthony Berkeley yet, but this is the next one. So the Poisoned Chocolates case. Graham and John Bendix have apparently succeeded in making that eighth wonder of the modern world a happy marriage, and into the middle of it there drops, like a clap of thunder, a box of chocolates. Joan is killed by a box of poisoned liqueur chocolates that cannot have been intended for her to eat. This was originally published in 1929 and reissued by the British Library Crime Classics, which I think is brilliant. Next one is a thriller by Ruth Ware, and that is The Woman in Cabin 10, and the little sticker, Agatha Christie meets girl on the train. So I knew I had to pick that one up and have a look. This is set on a cruise ship, and one of the guests, I'm assuming the woman in cabin 10, goes missing or disappears. Good little thriller there by Ruth Ware. Look forward to getting into that one. Another thriller I picked up as well, and this is Friend Request, the most addictive thriller you'll read this year. So this is by Laura Marshall. This was published last year in 2017. This is Friend Request, and this is, read the blurb, Maria Weston wants to be friends with me. I'm assuming on Facebook or social media of some sort. So Maria Weston wants to be friends, but Maria Weston has been dead for more than 25 years. Next up we go back to the Golden Age, and this is by Georgette Heyer. This is called A Blunt Instrument. Now Georgette Heyer is probably better known for her romance novels. She's written loads of Regency romance novels, but she also has written about a dozen, I think, detective books, and I've read a few of them, and they are very, very good, in the style of Agatha Christie, Dorothy L. Sayers. This one is called A Blunt Instrument. So when Ernest Fletcher is found bludgeoned to death in his study, everyone is shocked and mystified. Ernest was well liked and respected, so who would have a motive for killing him? Enter in Superintendent Hannyside, who with consummate skill begins to uncover the complexity of Fletcher's life, and it seems the real Fletcher was far from the gentleman he pretended to be. In fact, there was no shortage of people who wanted him dead. Then a second murder is committed with striking similarities to the first, giving a grotesque twist to a very unusual case. So I know I'm going to enjoy Georgette Hires A Blunt Instrument. Next one I picked up is by a very popular author, but I've never read any of his books, and that is Bernard Cornwell. This one is called Fools and Mortals. I've never read any Bernard Cornwell, so it'll be interesting to see what the fuss is about. But this one, the subject matter was what drew me into this one, Fools and Mortals, and it's set in Elizabethan London. Stickers get everywhere. There's a sticker in the back of the book. So in the heart of Elizabethan England, young Richard Shakespeare dreams of a glittering career in the London playhouses, dominated by his older brother, William. Then a priceless manuscript goes missing and Richard falls under suspicion, forced into a high-stakes game of duplicity and betrayal through the darkest alleyways of the city. So it's a thriller, Elizabethan England, Shakespeare. I had to pick this one up. Now the next one intrigued me because it's by an author who I know as a comedian, and that is Mark Watson. And this is called The Knot. Now Mark Watson is a UK comedian, but I didn't know he'd written novels. So I thought, is this the same Mark Watson? And yeah, it is. It's Mark Watson, the comedian. And this is his debut novel. So I've picked this up not so much for the plot, but because I'm intrigued in how Mark Watson writes. The Knot by Mark Watson. And I was watching Dave over at Wild Read's latest charity shop haul video, and he also picked this one up as well. So it's strange, we both picked up The Knot by Mark Watson. So I'll be looking forward to comparing notes with Dave on this one. Next one I picked up is another book I've seen everywhere, and a lot of people say they're very, very good, and this is the first of a series, and this is Rivers of London by Ben Aronovich. Now these are, I believe they're murder mysteries, but with a twist. Set in London, but I think it's like there's a fantasy element, there's magic and demons and ghosts. So it's a sort of a fantasy style London. So I look forward to getting to that one. Right, two more, and then we will open the mystery book, the blind date book. First one, my wife found this one in the charity shop. Knew I'd like it, and I would. This one is called Curtain Call by Anthony Quinn. And again, murder mystery, but set in the 1930s, the Golden Age, and set in the theatrical world. Probably a sort of thriller murder mystery set in the 30s in the theatre. Yeah, ticks all my boxes. I look forward to that one. Next one is a self-published book, and I've seen it all over Stratford-upon-Avon, and that is obviously the Shakespeare Silence by H.M. Evans. So it's a self-published one. It's actually signed as well. Didn't even see that. It's actually signed by the author. To Marie. I hope you enjoy the book. Well, she gave it to a charity shop, so I don't think she did. So this is an historical murder mystery set in 1864. A young man is brutally murdered in the back streets of Stratford-upon-Avon just before the 300th anniversary of Shakespeare's birth is due to take place. 150 years later, an American PhD student comes to Stratford-upon-Avon and they investigate this historical murder. So that is a self-published book by H.M. Evans called The Shakespeare Silence. So that is all of my charity shop buys. So now we have the blind date. Who am I going to be going on a blind date with this month? So remember, it's amnesia, suspense, mystery thriller, gripping and lies. So let's have a look to see what is inside. Aha! Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. So Before I Go to Sleep, now a major film starring Nicole Kidman, Colin Firth and Mark Strong. So let me read the blurb to you. Memories define us. So what if you lost yours every time you went to sleep? Your name, your identity, your past, even people you love, all forgotten overnight. And the one person you trust may be telling you half the story. Welcome to Christine's Life, winner of Crime Thriller of the Year in, when was this published? In 2011. So this will be my blind date book of the month, Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. Okay, thank you very much. So that was quite a large book haul. Like I say, I haven't filmed for about 3 weeks, so I had a lot to get through there. So thank you all for watching if you've made it this far. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of those. What do you think of the blind date book? And I will see you all again in my next video. Thank you for watching.